Okay, so good evening and welcome to the launch of Freelancer MoneyBox. Firstly, just to get it out of the way, there's no fire drill planned for this evening. So if you do hear the fire alarm, please leave through the door that you came in, where you'll be met by hotel staff who will escort us out. So, the programme for this evening is as follows. Very shortly, I'll pass you over to John Brazier, who's the Director of Corporate and Strategic Affairs at PCG. And he will be taking you through the state of the freelancer market as it is at the moment, as well as key things that PCG are doing and what we can do to support you. Following on from John, Laura Hughes from Crunch Accounting will explain very briefly what's going on with tax at the moment, and also provide you with a brief update on what are legitimate business expenses. Lastly, by no means least, Bruce Dash from Wealth Matters will be explaining what you should know when sorting out a financial plan. After the seminars, about 7:20, we'll break off into a buffet where we'll be able to network with all of the exhibitors from across the financial industry, everything from mortgage advisors, foreign exchange, mortgages, as I said. So I'll stop mumbling and I'll pass you on to John Brazier.
Thank you, George. Presenters get younger, do they, every time? Fantastic job, George. Well done. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to the Radisson Blu, which I think is what used to be called the Portman Hotel, from memory. It's certainly in Portman Place, and one of the few hotels where, if you're lucky as I was tonight, you drive into the car park and you could actually find your way from the car park underground into the reception. Normally you have to go around all sorts of circles and follow all sorts of directions. So very, very warm welcome to you all. And I hope we're going to have an evening of packed full of information, and perhaps most importantly, the chance for you to talk to our exhibitors and sponsors this evening who have come from afar to share their knowledge with you, and I suppose hopefully to do some business with you at some stage in the same way that PCG would like to as well. What I'm going to try and do just for a quarter of an hour or so is to paint a little bit of a picture of the independent professionals marketplace. You notice I've used that phrase. How many people in this room call themselves an independent professional? Quick show of hands. Or would like to be referred to as independent professional? Not too many, but a number. How many people like to be called a freelancer? Even less. A contractor? A consultant? Oh, now we're getting to the business. You see, consultant's a good word, isn't it? In most fields. And how many people, just to kick us off, have not yet filled in their tax return? About 6 or 7 of the 3 million, according to HMRC, who haven't done so by this morning. So you're not alone. Okay, let me kick off by just giving you a little bit of information which we've gathered together for you to give you an idea about the marketplace in which we all work. Things are looking up. I think we've all gathered that information from the various press reports we've seen and listening to the news at 10 and constant news we have all around us every day. Why are they looking up? Well, I think we look ahead in 2014 with great positivity, if we want to be positive, with most key indicators showing definite signs of improvement. And GDP growth forecasts, which is the benchmark signal, I suppose, for how the market is going, have been revised upwards from 0.6 to 1.4. Now, I was at a CBI meeting 2 days ago when they were actually talking about the end of 14 being 2.4, quite possibly 2 point, which is quite an uplift from where we've been in the last few years. So let's hope we can, all of us, achieve that sort of figure for UK PLC. Secondly, confidence in the economy is growing, with the banks perhaps more willing to lend money, although the jury's a little bit out on that, I think. And companies are definitely hiring more staff, while self-employment, which is the area we're all involved in this room, generally is experiencing great growth and increasing by 1.9% on last quarter and 1.3% on last year, and now reaching 4.25 million. So you're in a good place, guys. It's happening out there. People are going into self-employment. Admittedly, some of that 4.2 million will be builders, electricians. Nothing wrong with that. We need more of them from wherever they come, in my opinion. Whatever country they come, I should say. But a lot of people are going into self-employment. And why not? It's a great opportunity. So overall, the economy is on the road to recovery, but it's still struggling to reach pre-recession levels. But I think with a fair wind and all being positive about the subject, we can help it reach its conclusion. So what about the outlook? Well, whilst 40% of PCG members believe the overall business outlook for freelancers will stay the same over the next year, 1 in 4 expect an improvement, and just under 1 in 5 are prepared for the situation to worsen. So looking at that pie chart, it's again a fairly positive, cautious positive sort of outlook. And these are surveys we do quite regularly of our members, and we feel our members are a very good indicator of how the industry is going. And just referring back to CBI a couple of days ago, without naming names, but 1 or 2 sectors were reporting around the table quite good areas of growth. One of those being printing, which is an area I worked in before, funnily enough. And usually if the economy picks up, printing leads it sometimes, but very quickly follows it. So when you hear that printers' margins are still under pressure, but the business volume is growing, you can bet yourself pretty accurately that the economic situation is improving. So go and have a chat to your local printer and see how he's doing. It might spur you on. So freelancing is increasingly becoming an attractive form of working, with PCG's 2012-13 benchmarking survey showing that almost half our members are able to charge £500 or more per day. Now, there are many people in this room who may be on more than £500 a day, and many people will be on less. You may find you've had a tough last 12 months in terms of rates. Other people have, if you're particularly strong or unique skill set, you may have done even better. But that is a pretty reliable figure from a survey that I think had nearly 2,000 respondents right across the business spectrum. So again, I think we can be encouraged by that number. And a recent KPMG REC report, Recruitment and Employment Confederation report, showed that contractor agency billings are growing at the sharpest rate in over 15 years, which again is great news for freelancers. And currently 9 in 10 PCG members are either fairly or very happy about their freelance lifestyle. Anybody want to disagree? Who's the 1 in 10 in this room? Anybody? No, you're all loving it. Fantastic. I mean, it's the great thing, isn't it? You know, you can charge what you like if you can get away with it. You can get a different client every so often to make life fresh. You're helping the economy, and on it goes. So it's a very positive situation. People should feel good about their lifestyle. So freelancers are in fact improving the economy as well. Now PCG commissions much research throughout most years, and we've done quite a bit with Cranfield Business School, and indeed Comres, who are the major political pollsters that are featured on BBC News quite regularly. And that showed that 87% of SMEs and 77% of large firms in the UK believe freelancers add value to the economy, with 83 and 77 respectively of large firms reporting that freelancers add value to their own business. Now, I don't know how many of you think about that when you're in contract and working within your clients, but you're there for a reason. You're not there just to make up the numbers. You're there to add value, to create wealth, and I suspect going forward to create employment for those companies. Once you've got your projects in place, those companies will actually create employment, which is all good for UK PLC. So you must never put yourself down. It's important to obviously think about your own lifestyle and how you're working, what rate you can charge, all those financial things that we're talking about this evening, but you are contributing value to the country and to your clients, so don't forget that. And we commissioned more research through Kingston University, the small business school there, which we've been working with for 6 years now, I think. And that freelance workers in 2012 contributed approximately 95 billion to the UK economy in business turnover, which is around 2.9% of total private sector turnover and 2.5% of UK GDP. So again, high value, high worth, very important to the economy. But changes to look out for. There are a couple of pluses. Some of these won't affect you, you may not feel too much, but the planned freeze in fuel duty and cap on train fare increases should benefit freelancers who are travelling large distances or even short distances to client sites. So It's quite good to do a calculation on that at the end of this year compared to last year and see how much you might have paid if the prices had gone up even more. So we all accept the prices have to rise, but that is a benefit we should all, I think in fuel duty certainly, with prices reducing, something to add to the bottom line. And it's good news also for freelancers who face problems with getting paid. Many of you working through agencies may not feel that's a major problem, providing you're working with a good agency. But there is a consultation on building a responsible payment culture to tackle late payment, and the EU are doing a lot of work on that as well. You may say with that, well, yes, but you can bring all the rules in place that you like and penalties for late payment. Will anybody actually do it? Well, you may remember there's a policy recently for all the large top companies in the UK to be publicised if they've gone beyond their payment terms. And this has been happening, apparently. I haven't seen much evidence of it in the newspapers, but it has been happening. And that's caused a huge increase in the number of big companies signing up to this code of prompt payment. So it does work, and I think if we keep the pressure on at all levels, we will improve things. On the minus side, the government has launched a consultation dealing with onshore employment intermediaries. You may have heard about this. Not enough time to go into it this evening, but although it's aimed specifically at vulnerable workers and the forcefully self-employed, we could say it could affect genuine freelancers. We will strive to make sure it doesn't with our policy team, but it's one of those things, if you leave it and you don't engage with the subject, you could be in for a surprise at the end of the day. So we will be keeping a very close eye on that. Secondly, a House of Lords Select Committee has been formed to investigate the impact of the use of personal service companies, which is not a legal term, I don't think. So there you go, House of Lords using non-legal terms, how about that? For tax collection purposes. This could have an important consequence for freelancers who operate this way, as I'm sure many of you do. We're not too sure why this has come about, and our policy team are down all the relevant drain pipes at the moment, having meetings. We've given evidence, in fact, to the House of Lords Select Committee on this subject, as have many other people, and we'll make damn sure that anything that does come out of it, which may be nothing, is minimised as far as you're concerned. So the work of PCG on the policy side is very important to us, and it all has a financial impact, really, because a lot of these issues stem from... Did I do that? Perhaps it's a subtle hint, I need to speed up. We tend to look at all the issues that affect freelancers, both in Brussels and in the UK. So if anything is talked about in the European Parliament or discussed in the House of Lords or the House of Commons or in the committee rooms, we've usually got an ear to the ground and we find out what's going on. So we review and research the marketplace for freelancing and freelancers, ensuring that members are always kept abreast of change. What we won't do is to burden you with information on everything that we come across, because we don't want to frighten you, and there probably wouldn't be any reason in telling you about certain things anyway, because they're very minor. But we are there, and we don't miss a trick. And we continue to commission research to explore various aspects of the freelance workforce, including a very recent study by Professor Patricia Layton on the growth of the independent professional workforce in the EU, which provides insight on how these people work and the issues that affect them. And it's quite interesting when you compare the different countries across Europe. I think this study featured 9 countries. Some of the issues are very general, sort of issues you experience in the UK. A lot of them are tax related for reasons of uncertainty. And some of the reasons for working this way are different as well, because of different local legislations. But it's a fascinating piece of work. I think there might be a summary of it on our website, worth a look. And that research, in fact, is going to form the basis of a European manifesto, which PCG will launch in early March in the European Commission to bring attention to your way of working. And just remember, in the UK, we reckon the market's 1.72 million people, your sort of people, high-end knowledge workers. In Europe, we think the figure is around 9 million. So you're not alone. And the important thing is, it's a very important part of the workforce. And one of the messages I keep banging on about at the CBI is that we must start talking about workers, not employees, or not solely employees, because there's lots of people out there like yourselves who are working damn hard, hopefully you're earning a decent income, and you're not employed, you're engaged. So we must, and I think it's incumbent upon us all to talk about the worker in the UK, not just the employee. So the work of PCG, member benefits, I'm sure there's many people here that can guide you on this. There's some very nice people at the back of the room. We've got all the information you need, but just a quick guide. We're constantly reviewing the benefits and cover we offer to our members with the aim of providing the same degree of reassurance that large company employees enjoy. Maybe you wouldn't want all of those benefits, of course, but we do try and bring you a level of service that is useful. So we've recently launched just one example, PCG Advantage, or Advantages I think it's called, which is a new PCG member benefit offering discounts on a variety of brands and stores, including some of those on the screen now. And I think from what I've seen, it's some quite good discounts there. And we're in a discount-led world at the moment, aren't we? So these have got to be pretty keen to attract your attention. And finally, how can we support you? Well, these are just some of the things we do. I won't read them out. Some of the things on this list are critically important, of course. We are there to support you in tax terms, to make sure that you have all the support you need if you have an investigation. That's a principal benefit. We've also got access to a number of workspace venues and work hubs around London, and we're looking to extend that around the country for our Plus members. And I think it applies to all members now, actually. Yes, it does. So if you're ever travelling around, you want to use a local workspace, if you're a member of PCG, those are available, certainly in London at the moment. And there will be a draw tonight. I gather some people have already put their cards in the pot for a 1-year free standard membership product for you to take away. So that's all from me. Just to thank you for your attention, bit of an introduction there. Hopefully you found that a bit interesting. Happy to take questions later, but I think we're going to run on through the presentations now. And so I'm looking forward to hearing from Laura Hughes from Crunch. Thank you very much.